social media for the week. I kind of just go through what I see and then I kind of pick what I want and I'm just going to go ahead and bing bing react to it. So first of all, I'm going to bring you what I call the smoking grift. Now this has to do with all the influencers in the social media space that mainly got their start during COVID and took a rise after COVID, and now just recently this year have all seemingly taken real big falls. Now starting like with, and I noticed this really with the military influence world, where a lot of these guys were, it's something you don't fake. You don't fake your military experience, and all of a sudden, like, you start looking at them, you're like, wait a minute, is this shit real? And then all of a sudden, boom, someone goes and pulls all the background of these people, and it's not. They're not who they say they are, and they tend to lie, tell huge stories where they exaggerate things that happened in the story, whether it be how many grenades they threw or the places they've been or the medals they won, so kind of that space. And then you see the same thing within the alpha male world, where people have pretty much just took a huge crash because they, one, are not alpha males, because they allowed everyone to kind of like tease them and pick them into creating so much, like, baiting them into creating chaos in their own lives, and now they're all crashing and falling, which you'd think if you're alpha male you would not allow like outside influence to cause you to crash and burn like this. And so we're like, I think this week Wes Watson's like best buddies with his his girl's baby daddy. So he's bringing him into that whole that whole world. But yeah, so in general, a lot of these people are now crashing and burning. You see in the comedian world where people had once been super funny or had huge followings and then attached themselves to something political, and it did not go, or is not going how they thought it is, and a lot of them are just losing tons of fans, trying to figure out ways to get those fans back, saying they're sorries, whether they're trying to like, soft talk the situation. It doesn't matter. But you can see that too, that's so anyone that's like pretty much made a grift from social media is in trouble. People are just tired of it. They're like, yo, we gotta check this shit out. Let's pull it. These guys have had made money too long off nothing. I mean, and you can think if it's kind of funny with the alpha males, like, you guys teach, oh, I'm gonna get all this money, you gotta pay me to get all this money, blah blah blah, but it's bullshit. You ain't gotta pay them to get money. Just make content about them. That's the bag, and you get money. And if you make good enough content and they respond, you make even more money. So you don't even have to pay the $3,000 for the course. Just make fun of them. Pay $2,000, get a good camera, and just start fucking boom, 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 boom. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, the pseudo intellectuals. You see, like Lex Friedman. You find out this guy just like was a janitor at MIT, or like joking, and he worked on like a side gig project maybe or something like that. I don't know. I thought the guy was smart, but then you start seeing all the facts. You're like, no, these motherfuckers are liars, And now it's kind of over. So in the next couple months, we'll see how many of these people last through the smoking grift, how many people's smoking mirror cracks. You can see right now, like the Tim Kennedy's out here trying to. I don't know if it's him or his marketing team, but they're in their triage state where only thing they post is his kids. So they're like throwing his kids out there for can fodder. So because they know people like, if you talk shit about him, you don't talk shit about his kids. It takes a real asshole like me to even troll someone when they're posting about their kids. But that's where we're at. These people are now like trying to find different ways out of this, because they've just talked so much shit and lied so much to people that people are tired of it. And now they're like, here it is. Here's the facts. What are you gonna do now? And people are like, oh shit, we gotta get off to social media. The only one that seems to be really fighting back, I mean, obviously you're Joe Rogan. He can say whatever he wants. He's such a huge following that he's kind of just able to play it out more than anyone. But your king, your King Azuli over here, he's the only one that's like pretty much like. They said and have a lot of evidence that this guy Bruce raped someone, and he's the one that's the most indignant about everything. And he's like, I'm gonna bring my lawyer's gonna vouch for me and all this stuff. And it's like, bro, you need to just get in the background and shut the fuck up, but he won't. So it's kind of interesting. So like I said, we'll have to see over a couple months what happens, how these people, figure out ways to make more money on social media. But I think the most part of it's kind of on the if you're looking at it on the business or a candlestick graph, you're definitely on the downward trend of all these people. But yes, let's move on to the next one. Now this has to do with kind of the same thing. It's a term that I'm going to go ahead and crown here on Storytime, which is Streamdom. Now Streamdom is where you start you get on stream and you think because you're on stream you have the freedom to whatever the fuck you want to do, but you don't. And we've seen a trend of this too, where I think for the with most recently with the Roger situation, where it's like, oh shit, this is going too far. Someone almost died. And the crazy thing about that, with these other two situations I have here with the Vitality and I think his name was like Johnny Smoller or something like that. They were out there enticing people, so they were like doing it themselves. This motherfucker, he got Halo walked. And what I mean by that is all these kids were commenting on this shit so much, pissed him off, got him riled up to where he went and he jumped in and tried to kill someone. Now that's some unstable shit. And then they used the whole oh man, he got hit yesterday, so he's kind of out of it. It's like, motherfucker, he should not be around anyone then. But I just it's really a typical. I used to see these situations it's like where there's a rich kid or a kid that has money and some sort of fame, but he doesn't have support. This type of support at home to have emotional, I don't know, just some emotional intelligence to know, yo, this is too far. I can't just do whatever I want. Obviously, your dad's a fucking badass. So he's like, yo, I can do what the fuck I want to do. And that's what happens. It got to his head. And now, with most, because they have money, they can afford lawyers. If that was a broke motherfucker, he'd be going to jail. That's just some rich shit. So, that's what you got to deal with these rich people. If you're broke, you don't have money, like us, we got to go to jail. That motherfucker, they're talking about money right now. Trust me. The guy wanted to be a wrestler. If he's okay, boy's like, yo, we'll fund your career. How about this? I'll punch my kid in the head because I've punched him before. I'll let you watch me punch this motherfucker because he's already half dumb. I'll give you a bag. I'll sponsor you, and we're good. No lawyers. He doesn't go to jail. How about this? I'll tie his hands, and you can kick him in the head. We can kick him together. I'm just saying that because you heard the whole thing. He's like, I don't want my dad to call me a bitch. It's like, yeah, anyone that's like, yo, my dad's gonna call me a bitch. It's like, yeah, his dad called him a bitch. It seemed like they used to fight. But yeah, so that's the term we're gonna crown here. We're gonna make this Streamdom the term for when you think because you're on stream, you can do whatever the fuck you want, or you let the fans on the stream, convince you to do something you're not supposed to do. With that said, that's the end of today's desktop desk report. Desktop